Hello, and welcome to a slideshow of First Robotics. First Robotics is a robotics competition where high school students team up with mentors and build a robot over a 6 week period for a competition. The competition itself is kind of a combination of a sporting event, block party, and technology fest. Now, the start of this robotics team comes down the brains of the robot. A student in school, Chris, had approached me about starting a first robotics team, and I told him I'm comfortable with mechanics and electrical, but to be honest, I'm not certain I could program the robot, so if the students can't do it, I can't step in and help. Can you program it? He went home, came back the next day, and said, yes, I know the program it's programmed in, I can do this. And from that, First Robotics at Bacon Academy was born. Each year, the game for a robot is different. That year, it was all about placing these triangle pyramid sorts of things on top of the larger ones in a sort of 3-on-3 matchup, if you will. So the students paired up, and each would take responsibility for a different part: the chassis, the arm, the end effector. And it was very much a family affair, and sometimes the parents would even bring in dinner for us because food is fuel. Many teams, the grown-ups build the robot, the kids watch. Sometimes they get to touch it. This team is the opposite. That's Chris with his dad, by the way. Instead, it's the kids built it, and every once in a while, we grown-ups were allowed to touch something or help with something. Mostly, I took photographs and ran errands, needing parts, what have you. Right, well, 6 weeks, the robot's built, and here we are at the competition, and we're in the pits area. That's me talking with Matt. Between rounds, your robot's going to need repairs because while it's not a collision sport, it certainly is a contact sport, and there's various tweakings that need to happen as well. And there we can see most of the team. Really a great group of guys. We had a lot of fun. You can see how we used little stuffed animals to protect certain potential hazards, if you will. And here we are getting stuck into the game. And you can see there's various different designs, different schools take very different approaches to how to solve the problem. And each team will have a human player, in this case loading up the robot of their team. And here we are getting ready, and our robot is in its special spot at the beginning, and off we go. And there's Ben, our human player, and whoops, one of the triangles slid down. These things happen. It really is nuts. If you ever get a chance to see these competitions, please go. It is a lot of fun. After each round, which lasts for 2 minutes, the judges will come out and score the game. And now it's time for a lunch break. Get some fresh air, get some fuel on board. Breathe, breathe. Right, not enough relaxing. Get stuck back in. Many teams will organize a pep section, if you will, a cheering squad. They'll bring mascots, crazy costumes, what have you. They really get into it, and it's understandable because there's this electric energy. Well, here we are getting stuck back in. There's Ben hanging on one of the pyramid shapes and driving on. It was Derek and Jim who designed that end effector that would automatically grab and automatically release. And there's Jim getting some fuel. I don't think he ate all that in one go. Right before the off, you talk with the other people on your alliance, and then it's 2 minutes of frantic activity and a lot of concentration. One of the things I really like is besides the competition proper, there's various awards, and you talk with judges during the competition in the pit area. And it's another opportunity for students to interact with adults, and I think it's a very nice part of the development, if you will. You're talking with adults more as a peer than as a regular student. Right, let's get stuck back in. Here we are getting ready. We're about 3 in the queue as it were there, and then bringing the robot onto the field. And we're off. You can see our literal use of stuffed animals as totems and to protect against certain hazards. That little cat would spin around when the arm extended out. We also had a telescoping effect with a cable system the kids built, so we could reach way out. No small stuffed animals were hurt in making this robot. Honest. As I said, it's the kids do it, and we grown-ups got to watch and occasionally help, which I think is how it really ought to be. There I am conferring with Chris's dad. It really was a fantastic group of kids, and they really had an opportunity to shine here. It's also an opportunity for other students to get involved. A student from a communications class developed our logo. And there's the pit area. You can see us right in the corner. There was a nice place. And here we are at the end, a little worn out, but feeling quite good about ourselves. And now we're going to stuff the robot back into its crate and ship it on home. The second year, there was a Nerf ball launching experience and also a platform you'd want to be able to climb up onto. And here was our answer. It's really over the top. We got more kids involved. Word of mouth works wonders. And again, a great group of kids having a lot of fun. And here's our end result. It was a bit ambitious, as we'll learn. Here's another thing I learned. A great way to get more girls involved in tech ed is the guys started getting their girlfriends to join and their friends. And because we had a cluster of girls, they felt quite comfortable as opposed to, why am I the only one here? Well, there's the robot. Off it goes. And here we are on the day. The first day is for inspections and test runs. And we were way, way overweight. So this is how you lose 50 pounds in a day. And it's not diet and exercise, I can tell you. It's stripped stuff off. Oof. But again, the kids really stepped up instead of being disheartened and saying, oh God, well, now what? They're like, okay, we're going to, what we have to do. Another thing I really like is how teams will help each other. If you need a part or a tool, someone else will come to your aid. And likewise, you're happy to help other people out with any problems they might have. Well, we did finally make weight and size and all that and pass inspection. Oh man. Okay, guys, we're going to buy a scale for next year. And here you can see some of the other teams in their pit areas. And here we are in the competition. Some of the different designs and talking with judges again. And having a little bit of lighthearted fun. You can see the different sorts of designs. Every team comes up with a very different answer. And here's our human player. And he was quite good. He was actually able to score from his position. Some years he can do that. Here we have a competitor's eye view, as it were. And here we are about number 3 in the queue to go back on. And here's the mad scramble for the platform at the very end of 2 minutes. To be honest, our robot had some problems. Particularly the tank drive didn't work very well. And this is one of those wonderful things where the kids step up and say, okay, what are we going to do about it? And Jim's taking notes on an action plan. We're going to be packing up the robot, and it's going to be in quarantine until the next regional event. And here's the team posing before we packed it up, of course. Again, a wonderful group of kids. Really very special group. And here's our solution. We're going to take last year's robot out of the display case, take the wheels and a few key parts off of it, which are allowed under the competition rules, and we're going to box all this up. Here we are gathering before we head off to Boston for the second regional competition. There's the pits area, and here the kids are desperately reconfiguring the robot during the first day of inspections and practice rounds. And we had a much better result because of it. God bless those guys. They really were wonderful. Now, one of the things I really liked about our trip to Boston was we stayed at a hotel that was near the T-line, and then each day we commuted into work by mass transit. And here we are getting ready to get onto the competition floor, as it were, and setting up the robot and our more advanced controller. Each year is an opportunity to learn and grow. We built a special conveyance as well. It was a little awkward, but fun. And it's on. Here's a mad dash to pump balls into the goal and to get up onto the platform towards the end. You can see we've got the wheels now. Much better robot. Pushing balls into that area allows you to score. And sometimes robots fall over. Ours didn't though, so that's a win. And here we are at the end of the 2 minutes taking our robot off and going for another competition, another round that is. And of course some hero photographs of the whole merry gang. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I certainly had a lot of fun reviewing these old pictures. Take care.